the first time. So our beloved chief guest and your guest speaker is our first batch of alumni to this institute, who has rendered a lot of services to this institute. Okay, so for this occasion, now I would request our beloved Dean Sir to come and occupy the dais, our Vice Dean Academics, Dr. Lata Ma'am, and our Vice Dean Student Welfare and Foreign Affairs, Lakshmi Jatia Ma'am, and our guest speaker of our colleague, Dr. Jeneth Berlin-Raj Sir, Professor and Head, Department of Physiology, Arunai Medical College, Thiruvannamalai. Now I request Dr. M. Ilangadar Sir, Professor and Head, Department of Anatomy, and also the Alumni President of AVMC, to deliver the welcome address. Sir.
A very good morning to one and all. Thank you, Dr. Frank, for giving me this opportunity. And before I give up the welcome address, I would like to inform you that our institute is celebrating the 25th Silver Jubilee celebration. Okay, so since we have started, it has come to 25th year. Okay, so we all belong to the first batch, and it is the time right now, the alumni of the institute, to support the institute or to pay back the institute. It is the time right now here, and we have, when the management has requested us to organize some alumni series of lecture, then the first thing struck me was, let me pick up the alumni from the preclinical department, who is very much close to me. Then immediately opposite to my department, I approached Dr. Gopinath, right? And immediately he has given me a resource person, is none other than Dr. Jeneth. So we are known to each other for the last 25 years. And on this occasion, I take this pleasure to welcome our beloved Dean Sir, Dr. Rakesh Sehgal Sir, amidst his busy schedule. He has made up his presence here. I also welcome our Vice Dean Academic, Dr. Lata Madam, Vice Dean Students International Affairs, Dr. Jatia Ma'am, and I also welcome our guest speaker for today, Dr. Jeneth. A close friend of me, HOD of Physiology from Arunai Medical College, Thiruvannamalai. We welcome you all. I also welcome all the faculties from the Department of Physiology, all the alumni of AVMC sitting over here, and I also welcome all the students who are going to get benefited by this talk. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, I require our beloved Dean Sir, because of his busy schedule, so we will, without further ado, sir, please address the gathering on this series.
Good morning to everybody. So today, well, you are, as I was discussing with our past alumni, the first batch, and I was telling we were also students like you at one time. So when you become the alumni of any college or organization, when you go somewhere, like he has gone, he's become a head of physiology, he's also now vice principal. They do feel proud to say that, okay, we did our MBBS from this place or our MD from this place. And it is a privilege to have the alumni for a talk today. And maybe after a few years, you may be director, deans, or what out of the students here. And you may also feel and proudly say that I belong to AVMC, my MBBS, MD, or whatever courses you have done from there. See, there are times which you remember throughout your life. School time also is one you remember where you studied in the school. But college is even much better remembered, because that time you are adults and you make friends which last a lifetime. And this friendship is not only between yourself, but it is an attachment to your alma mater also. So when you have an attachment to the alma mater, it helps not the person also, but there are people who help, like now our distinguished alumni has come and giving us a talk today, and he will teach you whatever work he has done, and I think he should also tell us a little bit about how the college was at that time and what sort of now he feels where we are, because that also helps us to see that how much we have also advanced. So now, I don't know, because you are now, you are all, I think, 2023 batch or 24? 4, okay, fine. So you are still very, very young, and you can learn and have good interdisciplinary work also, and you create a lot of friendship here in the college. And do remember the college from where you took your first, well, I would say not really first, but main, teaching. That is, this is just a stepping stone to the next step. That is because at our time, one time hardly anybody used to do MD or MS. I am talking about 1970s. So none of you would have been born at that time also. And that after MBBS you used to get a job. Very few, 5-6 people like me and 4-5 of my classmates, they wanted to do MD, they had a focus. And they had a focus, some of them went out of the country, some they stayed in PGI, and we also stuck. Then the second alma mater is where you do your post-graduation. We would also wish that you do this from the our college, but nowadays what happens is you have to give an exam, and according to that you are selected. I won't say too much more, because as far as alumni is concerned, we can have a lot of talk and sort of networking also. So I'll again welcome our distinguished alumni today, and I hope you enjoy his talk today, and certainly there will be more talks in the future. And being a 25-year-old institute, that also you should think that this is one of the oldest private colleges in Pondicherry. So this is the first private college which came up. Jipmore was already there, and this is how we have grown. And I hope with your hands, your contribution will go in strength further. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Sir, please, sir, just one more moment, sir. I'll also request you to felicitate our guest speaker and our distinguished alumni with a gift and a shawl, sir. Thank you, sir.
Anyway, all the best, sir, and have a nice session. Sorry, I have to go there on a schedule in between.
So thank you for being here on a busy schedule, sir. Thank you so much, sir. CV has sent to your mom.
No need.
Please be seated. Please be seated. Now I request our own Vice Dean, Student Affairs and International Affairs, and also our previous HOD and still the Professor of Department of Physiology, thank you, to introduce our speaker.
Good morning, one and all. Welcome, Dr. Jeneth. So actually, me and he, both of us have started our career at AVMC at the same time. Yes? Yeah, 25 years ago, right? So we both of us joined. He joined as a UG and I joined as a faculty. Very good for completing, right? So just now Ilankate told me to look at my mobile for his introduction. So actually I know his introduction. So you know where he did his MBBS and when he started. Now his topic is also very important, learning and memory. So let me finish my memory of those MBBS days when he was here. So soon after the college is over here, he had one very good friend in JIPMA campus, Anand. So he will be, soon after the college is over, he'll be seen only in JIPMA campus, doing joint studies, right? And here he is, who has been benefited by joint studies. Both of them were extremely good, always very polite, courteous, respectful. This is what makes a good human being. And that is what we see in front of us, Dr. Jeneth Raj. So he did his master's from Thiruvannamalai University in Physiology. And then on completion of his master's, then he came and joined Mahatma Gandhi Medical College as faculty, and he was there in various positions. And then when he retired as HOD of Physiology. And then he joined this Arunai Medical College in Thiruvannamalai. And it's not that once he left the institute, he forgot his alma mater. Whenever anything, any academic assignment had been there, whether it was in the form of any CME or any conference, international conference or anything, there was not even, or for that matter, any examination. Whenever we were asked to give the list, we have never ever forgotten to put Dr. Jeneth Raj. Because any assignment is given, we can always bank upon him. So that much reliability is there, and I can close my eyes. Before I take his consent, I will say, yes, Dr. Jeneth will be there. So that is what, that trust building that we have made over the years. Thank you, Jeneth, for coming over and giving a very important talk on learning and memory. So we will continue to build more and more beautiful memories. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Without further ado, I would like to welcome sir for our starting of the guest lecture. So I would like to thank all the alumni who are present here, HOD, Department of Biochemistry, HOD, Department of Pathology, and also our alumni president, sir. They'll be there, they'll go and come back. Okay, so let's go into the topic. Sir will take over in a minute to say one word about how he is with student. He was at Mahatma Gandhi, and then he left to Thiruvannamalai. One day there was a chaos at medical college where he was working, because MBBS students of first year became 150, and then from 250 students from here were also there, just to meet him because they got result. Imagine 250 students starting from Pondicherry, going to Thiruvannamalai, just to get his blessings and to inform him that we have passed. So that much of affection students have over him. Not like me, okay. Unlike me, he's very friendly, okay, and also strict, but very friendly. He's very close with the students, and I would request you to, order you to listen to his lecture very carefully and then get use of it, okay. Ask a lot of doubts, make use of him while he is here, okay. Thank you. Sir, over to you.
I forgot to tell, he also did his PhD.
Yes.
Gradually I am remembering.
Hello. Yeah, am I audible? Loud and clear? Okay. இது ரிவர்ஸ் இது வந்து ஓகே. Go to reverse. This is reverse. Okay. Yeah, fine. Okay, thank you. Yeah, we will start. The second slide was supposed to be a surprise, but then it got exposed. Okay. Today we'll speak about physiology of learning. Thanks for the Alumni Association of Arunai Medical College for calling me, and I feel so privileged to start this series. I was a class rep in final year, so that time I used to initiate some activities, and it still continues, and it's so privileged to stand in front of you. Whenever I come to Mahatma Gandhi, I am used to this Mahatma Gandhi for almost 13 years, so it is not going out. So whenever I step into my alma mater, Arunai Medical College, it is just like a child running to its mother. Of course, a child can only happily go to its mother if the grades are so good. If not, they will be worried about punishment. Why is that? Because we have many everlasting memories and beautiful memories in Arunai Medical College. Your dean was asking, it will be so good how you people's, how the institution was and how it is now. Believe me, when we first stepped in, there was not this beautiful hall you are sitting here. We did not have AC. We still remember there was the hall in front of the office here, that was Annapurni Hall. We got it in second year. But our first lecture hall was in the junction between community medicine and that time it was forensic medicine, or say biochemistry, in that area. Believe me, during rainy seasons, it was a 2-floor store, but still it will pour inside. That is how it was. Still happens. Below. So we stay in a very fertile land. We are not dry. Right. Now, there are many memories, actually many beautiful memories, none to repent. We always used to sit here in the corridor. We had our dean, Dr. Samuel Nyanadas, who always used to scold us for us. He used to say in Tamil, "Dey kutti sevar lokanda, kutti sevar adanda povinga." Sit in a small, when you sit in small floors, your life is not going to go up. But anyway, it went up. Because of few peoples, not few, many peoples who are so committed to the extreme, and they were our teachers. Since Madam is here, I will start with Madam. You can see Madam standing there in front of my graduation day. It was during our time. Now you have, green sari. Now you have, here, yes. Now you have LCD projectors. During those times, we had OHP projectors, and Madam used to write in X-ray sheets. Come present us. Madam took GIT for us. I still remember. I knew who took nerve muscle physiology was taken by Dr. Jawar is here. Jawar is my classmate. Your pathology HOD. Nerve muscle physiology was taken by HOD, then late Mr. Dr. Panisami. GIT by Madam, CVS by Anuradha Madam, and renal by again Panisami sir, CNS by all faculties in parts. It went on like that. We also had one more, Dr. Mohan. Dr. Mohan, he took general physiology for us. It went on. We were so committed, and still I follow few people. Many people used to ask me why this French bed. This French bed is because of our community medicine professor. You can see here, this man, late Dr. Raghavaya, a very strict person, very strict. Frank was introducing me as very kind person. You ask my students, they will never say no. They will never accept to it. I am very strict with them. It's all because of him. Then we had a fatherly like figure, our ENT professor, Dr. ENT, Dr. Ashok Ratnam. He was more like a fatherly figure to me. We are all still in contact. You can see our alumni meet, which still happened. One of the happiest event, our graduation day here. Vidyavati Madam, our medicine professor, Dr. L. Vijay Sundaram, our medicine professor. The main reason for us to learn to create interest right from second year, whatever minimum was available, that is the best thing. Arupadavedu was just a budding college. We had very minimal resources to learn medicine. When I first joined Arupadavedu, my mother got a call from Jipmer stating, why did you put your son in Arupadavedu? There were only 3 colleges during that time, Jipmer, Arupadavedu and Vinayaka Missions Karaikal. Because our senior's result was, first batch result was little disheartening. And I say you, the very next year our result was 80 because of the commitment from the teachers. Whatever little was available. Say Dr. Rajan sir from anatomy, he was our anatomy professor, he was assistant professor then. Whatever less was there, he made maximum use of it. I remember some 47 students getting distinction, Pondicherry University, in anatomy. That is how sir's teaching was. Lakshmi Jatya Madam used to call us during our practical class, make us sit there. She will be asking, what book do you read? Take the book. She will be reading it line by line and she will explain, this is how you will have to read a book. So, making us learn how to read a book is again an art. That is what Madam did. Biochemistry we never used to read in our home, Madam. No, that was because they were like, they used to teach like an LKG kit. Whatever was there in the book, everything was entering inside. We had weekly test. Dr. Sarkar was your biochemistry HOD then. So the person with red. Sir is still here? Yes, sir. Yes. Okay. And the team, Dr. Jayakumar sir was still there. Dr. Mohan was there. Dr. Meena Madam, one more person, she was there. So we had a very good team. Very good committed teachers. So that memories will ever pass. But the question here is, yeah, we have good memories, but did I learn anything from AVMC? That is a question. Memories are good, but did I learn anything? The answer would be definitely yes, because of these peoples. That brings us to the definition of learning. Learning says it is acquisition of information or knowledge by experience that results in alteration of behavior. There was certainly an alteration in behavior for me in first year to final year and thereafter. When I was a school kid, my mindset was different. Then as a medico, my mindset was different as I was learning, and later as a medical professional. So whatever I learnt, whatever memory or knowledge I have occurred, that has built in a character change. Okay, so that is what we call it as learning. Now what is memory then? Memory is acquisition, storage and retrieval of sensory information. Whatever you learn, it is all stored, and whenever needed, it will be retrieved. Okay, and memory is which connects our past to the present, and it will also prepare us to the future. Yeah. Now let me ask you this question. Please be open in answering. Are you right-brained or left-brained? Left-brained. How many of you say you are right-brained? Please raise your hands. 1, 2. Let me ask you this question. Why do you say you are right-brained? Because you are better in using your left hand. The same answer for your side too? Right. Now the question was little different. Please sit down. The question was not which handed you are or which side dominant you are. Now again, since you said handed, I will say you one more thing, whether to find whether you are truly left-handed or right-handed. Now take your hands like this. Just like that, immediately close your hands like this. Which finger is above? For how many people you have your left hand upwards? All you peoples are left-handed. All you peoples are left-handed. It is because of the society you have been asked to write. You have been asked to use your right hand. Okay, so that is something with right and left-handedness, but my question was different. My question was, are you right-brained or left-brained? Now let me ask you one more question. How many of you here are good in drawing? Please raise your hands. Good in drawing. How many of you can compose poem? Compose a song? Anyone? How many of you are good in music? How many of you dream a lot? Everyone. Everyone. Good. How many of you are good in crafting? Very good. How many are you are very disciplined? How many of you follow orders? All. All. Why are you wearing your apron then? Why are you combing your hair? Right. You are following orders. Yes or no? Yes or no? You are following orders in some way or the other. Right. Now that is exactly what I meant here by right brain or left brain. For all of us, we are left dominant. Our left brain is very dominant, because when we speak about left side, functioning of the left side of the brain, it means that the left brain will process one information at one time. It will process one information at one time. Right? And it is always responsible for logical thinking. When I give you this note, how will you receive it? Good. With one hand or two hand. And how will you open it? Why did you open it in this way? And why not reversely like this? You opened it in this way, right? You did not open it the other way. True? That is a logical thing. That is the right thing to do. That is what you think. Right. So this logical thinking is again because of the information coming from the left side of the brain. Then it is responsible for language skills. We all speak. How do we speak? In a responsible way, in a points which are connected, and in such a way that a person who is listening to it will understand what we are speaking. Right? So left brain is also important for language skill. It controls speech. It is responsible for memorizing the facts as well as names. When I was giving all the names of my faculty or whatever happened, it is all because memory is stored in my left side. Okay, I can remember the names. I can remember the facts. Right? A plus B the whole square is equals to? Yeah, this you will remember. Okay. Why? Where is it stored? Why is this coming in a sequence? Because of the prominence from the prompt from the left side of the brain. Right? It controls reading, writing. It controls science and mathematical capacities, responsive for sequential processing of information, and it also, and lastly, it also controls the opposite side of the body, right side of the body. Right? When we speak about right hemisphere, right side of the brain, that is different. I told you left brain will process one information at a time. Right brain is multitasking. It will be focusing on intuitions. I feel I have to do this. I don't know why I am doing it, but still I feel it. Ilya, I just walk. I know there is a pen, but I should not loot it. Right? I feel this pen to be very attractive. I am going nearby. Just like that I take and go. What does it mean? I am focused on my intuition. But my left brain says, hey, don't do that. That is not good. That is wrong. So, I don't touch it. Clear? Now you know how your brain is functioning. Okay. So right brain is focused on intuition. It conceives non-verbal informations, take any color, object, shape, etc. Whatever it is. It is responsible for spatial orientation. What time is this? Morning? Evening? Hey, he's looking at the watch. Is this morning or evening? Where will you be in the evening? You'll be sitting in this lecture hall. Obviously, so this should be morning or at least afternoon, right? Okay. So spatial, you are sitting or standing? You are sitting, good. So all these things are spatial. It will focus on synthesis. New ideas will come from right brain. Random generation of information will be coming from the right brain. Just like that, it will be sparking ideas. But not all the ideas will be logical. Okay, so those ideas to come up correctly, you need the help of your left brain. And it is important for the ability to draw pictures. As when I was asking you how many of your left brain, everybody said you are all left brain, but then few said you are good in drawing, you are good in composing song, you are good in music. All these things are because of your right brain. Okay, it is responsible for creating emotions, produces steam, multitasking. It is very much important for multitasking. A person who multitasks is predominantly right brained, right? And it also controls the left part of the brain. Now, right brain has a separate set of function, left brain has the opposite of it. How does we act sanely then? That is because of the important structure in the center. What is this? Corpus callosum. Corpus callosum. Corpus callosum has almost 300 million nerve fibers connecting the right brain and the left brain. There are too many researches done by these two people, Dr. Roger Sperry and Robert Ornstein, in the year 1960 to study exclusively the functions of corpus callosum. Okay, they did these studies in monkeys and cats, dissecting one hemisphere with the other hemisphere, checking for the characteristic changes in the animal. Yeah. Now, next question, what makes you a right brain? I was saying here, when I told you how many of you are using your left hand and right hand, two people said we are left-handed, whereas all other people said no, we are. But then when I asked you to do the simple test, many people were left dominant. Did it happen or not? Okay. Now, what is actually happening? Why are you like that? Why are you left brain or right brain? First thing, genetics. You are born so. Some are born so. Albert Einstein. Do you think you can ask him to sit in a class, listen to me like this? No. You cannot, because he is genetically different. Okay? Right. Next thing is social pressure. That is what I told you. All you people, most of you are left-handed, but because of social pressure, you have been asked to use your right hand. Now, why is that? For a small kid, the pressure is read. Read, read, read. When you finish your school, it is to join a good medical college. Then when you are studying your medical college, what happens? Yeah, you see your neighbor and then you are forced to buy a good mobile and the latest mobile. The pressure comes from your wife also. Why are you having an old mobile? The old one is given to Frank. Frank, you are having it. Yeah. Right, okay. No, still, wives are like that. Peer pressure is also different. We always say, no, that is the best mobile, so we'll go for it. Right, next thing, after studying your MBBS, you have to graduate, then you have to go join a PG or work in a corporate hospital. When you're working, there is again much more pressure. That doctor is good, this doctor is not good, that doctor is skilled, this person is not skilled, so get skilled. Too many pressures. Then when you work, buy a house, then you buy a finally car. Yeah, your parents would have gifted you. But still, this was the logical sequence earlier. Again, there is much pressure. I say you, there is very big pressure having a car. I want both. I want both. I have a 800 and a 700. As long as I was driving my 800, I was happily driving in Pondicherry. Very happily driving it. But then people were like this. You are in this position. You are like this. Why do you want to drive us? That is comfortable for me. How does it matter? Then for peer social pressure, I had to buy another big one. Okay, it's still lying there, but I cannot drive it in the roads of Pondicherry. Not possible. Right. So that is all partial. That is all about the changes which pressurize you to use your left brain or right brain. Always try to have a balance between the informations coming from right brain as well as the left brain. Suppose if you are using your left brain a lot, like as you were trained in your school, do this, do that, this is correct, only this is correct, the other thing is wrong. When you are like that, it means yourself is lost, you become more of a slave. And that is what the corporate company wants. That is what all the institution wants. People's like, madam, will try to oppose. They have their ideas, they will say, no, this is not correct. you have to step up. Whenever you have to step up, you have to step up. If not, you will be mumbling sitting in a room. Right? Okay. Suppose if you are using your right brain predominantly. Now see what I am saying here. I am using a word very carefully here. I am not saying you are right brained or left brained. I am saying you have to left predominant. Whether you are left predominant or right predominant. When I say left predominant, you will be very disciplined, you will be very obedient. When I am saying you are right predominant, you are a creator. You are a creator. You go towards your passion. You move towards your passion. Right? Okay. And you may become, who knows, like an Elon Musk. But don't depend more on your right brain. When you depend more on your right brain, you will be like, that's all. You'll become mad because all insane things comes out. You will not do anything logically. Okay. So this is all about right brain and left brain. Now let's take this quiz. I don't have a clicker with me, or you don't have, I have not given anything for you to click to find an answer. So we'll do like this. This is A. One hand is A, either right or left. Two hand is B. With your closed finger, closed fist, one hand is C, and D is two close hand. Try to find this answer. Which of the following is the function of left brain? Close your eyes. Don't look at your neighbors. Please all close your eyes. You can read the answer. Try to read the keys. Try to give an answer. You can raise your hand when you are ready with the answer. Doesn't matter if you are, even if you are wrong, but I want something to be shown. Do not worry whether it is correct or whether your friends are correct. Good. Excellent. Good. Okay. Please sit down. Please put your hands down. Yeah, I see. I was seeing one C and one D, and all other people's, the answer was focus on analysis. So that is the correct answer. It finds proof. It finds proof. That was purposefully left when I was taking the second slide. Okay? Right. It focuses on proof, analytical. It wants proof. It will not just like that depend on say something. Suppose if I ask him to balance this pen with this pen, right brain will try to do all nonsense thing, but left brain will try to find some way or the other to place one pen over the other pen in a logical way. Okay, so it is always analytical. It is always analytic. It focus on analytics. Right. Yeah, now this is true. Open fist is true, closed fist is false. Learning results in change in behavior. Change in behavior, true or false? Good. Everybody says it is true and the answer is correct. It is true. Good. Now we'll go for the second part of my lecture. It will be on seminar. It will be on learning. The first part is how your brain works. Second part will be in learning, and the last part will be on memory. Okay. When we speak about learning, you will have to identify. You will have to know three peoples. Do you know who he is? Any guesses? This person? Who? Albert Einstein? No? He is Pavlov. Ivan Pavlov. This man looks very skinny. Looks very skinny. Who is he? He is Skinner. Skinner. You will never forget it now. Okay. Last person. He has his holistic face. Who is he? You are a WWF player. Who is he? He is James Papis. Rings a bell somewhere? Papis circuit. Very good. Papis circuit. Pavlov? Pavlov? Heard anything? He used to torture dogs. He did something with dog. What did he do? We'll see about it little later. Okay? Yeah. Now this is a pre-test question. I will not be worried whether you are answering it right or wrong. I just want to know how many people know this answer little earlier. Okay. The subject learns about the property of a single stimuli, and this is called habituation, classical conditioning, Pavlovian conditioning, and operant conditioning. What is this? Try to give an answer. Doesn't matter. This is ABCD, Hinky Pinky Pompky. Let me see how many hands raises for how many majority I see majority going for C. They are attracted by Pavlov. And yeah, 1 or 2 A is there. Habituation. C, A. Any other choice? So there is a huge. Okay, I see B here. Okay, 2 B's here. Classical conditioning. Okay, so what I'm trying to put here is, for the next slides, we'll be studying about habituation and conditioning. I'll see what it is little later. Yeah, second thing. In which type of learning there is increased release of neurotransmitters, serotonin, from the axonal endings of the sensory neurons? Which type of learning? Habituation, sensitization, classical conditioning, and operant conditioning. I see A's already. B, yeah, I see B. Yeah, B's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so majority here goes for B. Right. What is B? Sensitization. We'll see what is sensitization. Conditioned reflex can be inhibited. True or false? You should know what is conditioned reflex. So don't worry, you will learn about it. We will condition you for something by the end of 1 hour. True or false? Give an answer. Okay, so majority here goes for true, and I do see false. Fine, okay. Which of the following is not a prerequisite of classical conditioning? Prerequisite of classical conditioning. Alertness and good health. Unconditioned stimuli must precede the conditioned stimuli. Conditioned stimuli must be allowed to continue to act so as to overlap the unconditioned stimuli. Positive reinforcement. Try to give an answer. Some answer. A, B, C, D, yes. I see A's. A, right? B, A, B. I think many people are sleeping. Or you don't want to give an answer. Cherry, okay. Oh, you are all neat people, so you will skip the wrong answer. Fine. Here there is no negative marking, so you can happily answer. Right. Areas concerned with non-associated memory and aversive conditioning. What is this? A, B, C, D. Something. C. Many people are saying C. Amygdala. There are many C's. I don't see any other options. I see no option or C option. Okay, right, okay, fine. C. There are many C's. Okay. Area concerned with reward processing and motivation. Again C. Why C? That looks different. Yeah? Morning they thought, okay. You have already been sensitized to this. Fine, okay. Hope you are not getting, you will not get habituated, right? So learning, we'll go for the schedule then. Learning is, as I told you earlier, it is acquirement of information or knowledge by experience that results in alteration of behavior. Learning is a change in behavior based on the sensory informations which you receive from or receive and stored in the brain. And whenever you speak learning, it really needs a sincere attitude and readiness to perform an assessed task. If I just now I saw Frank was going around and getting a note from those people. So maybe probably they were not ready to listen. So now they are made ready. Or I see many people who are readily participating. So that readiness should be there for you to learn. And learning, yes, it depends on motivation. The motivation can be intrinsic. It has to come from inside, or it has to be from outside, intrinsic or extrinsic. That will create an adequate interest and the attention to promote learning. Now when you speak about the types of learning, basically they can be classified into non-associative learning and associative learning. What does association means? You are associated to something. Likewise, non-associated meaning there is no association, there is only one thing. Right. So non-association here means the subject will learn about the properties of a single stimuli. That's it. A single stimuli. Is a stimuli harmful or is a stimuli pleasurable or rewardable? That's it. So that is what we call it as non-associated memory. We have two subtypes in it. One is habituation and next one is sensitization. And the second division is associative learning. Associative learning is where a subject will try to learn the relation between two stimuli. Okay, this or that, or between the stimuli and the behavior. We have two types, we have two subtypes in it. One is called classical conditioning and the next one is operant conditioning. We'll speak about the first one, non-associative learning. Now, have you seen this in the roads? Not now, but still quite common. You would have seen a buffalo happily walking, very happily walking, crossing the road. The bus driver will be honking, the bypassers will be hitting it, but still it doesn't care because it is used to it. It is used to it. It is getting habituated to it. So habituation here means a decrease in response to a benign or neutral stimuli when the stimuli is presented repeatedly. Say for example, if I take this lecture without modifying my voice, without posting any quiz, continuously from morning to evening, you will feel bored. You will feel bored. You get habituated to it. The response will decrease. Obviously the response will decrease. That is called habituation. But still, now, but then when I shout, say for example, do this, change the voice, right? Then what happens? You become alert. You get sensitized to it. Similarly, when you repeatedly apply, repeated application of a distinctly pleasant or an unpleasant stimuli produces a greater or response. Say for example, I am giving a stimuli repeatedly and I couple the stimuli with an unpleasant stimuli. Then what happens? You get sensitized to it. You get sensitized. Or say, I take a 500 rupees note here, I say anybody who answers this question will get this reward. So when I reward, that becomes you get sensitized to the question, you get alert, and then you start to answer it. Okay, right. Now why is this happening? What is this sensitization? It was first Candle who did this experiment on a sea snail. Why did he select the sea snail Aplysia? Because it is very big, it doesn't have a shell to it. You would have all seen a snail, you would have touched it. Have you? Most of you. Yeah. The moment you touch, what happens? It takes this this projection like thing inside. This projection like thing inside. Yes or no? It takes its gill inside. Similarly, what Candle did was, Candle gave a stimuli by touching that skill. Immediately the snail withdrew its skill. Okay. Now when he was repeatedly touching it, he found the snail was minding its own business. It was like, this fellow is like this. Okay. That is what habituation. Now how did he test it? He was using sensors at different places from the sensory neuron. He was checking for the stimuli which was coming here. Okay. As he was repeatedly stimulating, first time he saw there was an exaggerated response, the gills were contracting. Later, as he was repeatedly giving pressures, same strength of stimuli, but there was no response at all. The response was almost the same. Okay, it was not responding to the second stimuli. Why is this happening? Because of decrease in calcium. It is because of the decrease in the influx of calcium. Right. Second one, what he now did was, he gave a stimuli he gave a stimuli, and whenever he was giving a stimuli, he also gave a shock. A snail which was habituated is now given two stimuli. One is a regular stimuli by touch, and the second one is he has coupled it with shock. Now then he found there was an exaggerated response. This exaggerated response is mainly because of the release of serotonin. Release of serotonin. Now here you see there is a facilitating neuron. It is through this facilitating neuron there is more release of neurotransmitters, and this neurotransmitter is 5-HT or serotonin. Okay, which releases more amount of calcium in this motor neuron, causing more withdrawal, enhanced withdrawal reflex. Right. So that is all about non-associative learning. Okay, there is only one stimuli. Now the second one is associative learning, where the subject will have to associate between two stimuli. How he finds a relationship between two stimuli. Okay, right. Classical conditioning is also called, please remember, we have two types in associative. One is classical conditioning, next one is operant conditioning. Operant is like opposing each other. Classical conditioning, there are the other names for it. One is called Pavlovian conditioning, or conditioned reflex type 1, or response conditioning, or type S conditioning. The second one, operant conditioning, is also called instrumental conditioning, type 2 conditioning, type R conditioning, and trial and error conditioning. I told you will have to remember two names here. Who are they? One is Pavlov and next one is Skinner. Now Pavlov did this experiment on dog. You would have heard about this in your school days itself. Yeah, he was feeding a dog with a delicious diet. Right. As the dog was given this food, it was salivating. He found this. Then what happened? He did add another component to it. Whenever this delicious food was given to it, he was also ringing a bell along with it. Right. Later, he took the food and he was just giving the bell. Just the ringing of bell produced salivation in the dog. Okay. So here there are two stimuli. One is unconditioned. It just like that comes. It is not conditioning. You are not bringing it. It is there. Okay, like the dog salivating when it sees a food. But then what he is doing, he is giving another stimuli, that is an auditory stimuli, a sound of the bell ringing, and then the dog, and that is coupled with the food. Now he is conditioning the stimuli. Initially there was an unconditioned stimuli. Now what he is doing? He is conditioning a stimuli. Later what he is doing is he is looking for conditioned response. What is it, conditioned response? You take the food, give only the bell, the dog will salivate. This is called conditioned reflex. This is called classical conditioning. Classical conditioning, where you are coupling an unconditioned response with a conditioned response. Am I clear? Okay. Now a question. Do you think the classical conditioning will be there for a longer time? If he is going on ringing the bell continuously for a longer time without providing food, will the dog continuously salivate? 1 day, 2 days, 1 month, 1 week, that's it. Then it stops. Yeah. So it can be inhibited. Classical conditioning can be inhibited. Okay. How can you inhibit it? Do not give the food. Give the conditioned reflex for a longer time. That is called internal conditioning. Or you can give a comment saying that do not go near to it. You are providing a food and then you are saying don't go near to it. Right. Yeah. There are certain things where how you can reinforce a classical conditioning. We have positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement. Positive reinforcement, it is if an unconditioned stimuli. What is an unconditioned stimuli? Dog salivating. Okay. When an unconditioned stimuli is associated with a positive effect, positive reinforcement will be there. You would have all heard about the story of Akbar and Birbal. Akbar asked Birbal once, can you show me a cat which does not like milk? Birbal said, yes, I can bring you. You know what he did? he took a kitten to his home, provided milk to it to drink. The cat went near the milk, it just ran away. You know why? Because it was served very hot. It was served very hot. So later what happened, as the cat was brought near, just the vision of the milk will create an aversive behavior in the cat, and the cat will run away. So the story goes on, and then he went to this. He went to see Akbar. Akbar, and then he told all these things. He proved his point. So that is what I mean here. When an unconditioned response, stimuli, is coupled with an unpleasant effect, negative reinforcement will happen. I can hardly imagine the second thing, the picture which is given there. You are a vegan, it is good, but then treating a dog in a vegan style is pavam, kodurum. Not at all good. Right. So there are some prerequisites for classical conditioning. Say somebody is very sick here, very sick, and your friend comes and says, Machan, come today we'll go for a party. Will you go? You're like, what a day. Already I am very sick, how will I go? So for conditioning to happen, the animal or the human should be in an alert state, and he should have a good health. First prerequisite. Second one, the timing between conditioned stimuli and unconditioned stimuli. This timing interval should be almost 0.5 seconds. Both should be almost served at the same time. Bring the food, ring the bell. You all have fish tank in your hand, in your home. At least few. Go near to it. If if you are consistently going near, if you are feeding your fishes, just go near to it. It will come up. Conditioning. You are conditioning the fish, right? So that is how it is. Okay, fine. Next thing is duration of conditioned stimuli. It must be continued to act so as to overlap the unconditioned stimuli. Last thing is positive reinforcement. Positive response is again a prerequisite for classical conditioning. Now, scientists will always fight with each other. So was the fight between Pavlov and Skinner. Skinner raised few questions. He said classical condition is limited to explaining the behavior, reflexive behavior changes which are affected. I'll say you what is reflexive behavior. She was yawning. That is again one reflexive behavior. Right. It could not account for a newly occurring behavior. What is this suddenly new thing which is happening because of a stimuli? Okay. And he says that behaviors are outcome of either a reward or a punishment. That is the quote by thing. Now he wanted to prove it. So apart from classical conditioning, he had two other things. He had one more conditioning called operant conditioning, opposite conditioning. Now what did he do? He developed a small box. We call that a Skinner box. Here you see a rat is placed inside this box, and the bottom of it is having a electric board. It will have electric coils in it, and there will be two switches. Press one switch, food will be delivered to it. Press the other switch, a shock will be delivered. The exploratory behavior of this mouse will compel it to try one switch or the other. First, it will be randomly selecting the switches. Later, it will find, okay, say for example, if the green is pressed, food is coming. It learns, and then it avoids the other stimuli. Okay, so there is a reward for it, and there is a punishment for it. So here we have two things. One is positive reinforcement, and next one is negative reinforcement. So this experiment was developed to study to develop an association between the action and its outcome, and it involves association of specific behavior with an reinforcement of action. Right. Likewise, when you are studying, when this class is going on, say for example you are answering, and if I note and I don't care like what you are saying, you get tired. But if I say like very good, come up with an answer, right? You are correct. Or someone who is answering, I will say like very good. When that reward is there, we call that as reward conditioning. This is a naturally here what happens, a natural occurring response is strengthened. But suppose if I come to this hall in an irritated mood and I don't want anybody to laugh or drink water or yawn or write some notes, and I shout at you, what will happen? There will be this aversive conditioning. There will be this aversive conditioning. So a naturally occurring response is weakened because of negative reinforcement. Okay. Now there are certain areas in the brain which are concerned with this operant conditioning. One is amygdala. Amygdala is a center for emotion too. Okay, right. So it is concerned with non-associative learning. When I say non-associative learning, what does it mean? What am I saying? Habituation and sensitization. Okay, habituation and sensitization. Right. So again the same thing. Suppose if the class is boring, you get so vexed up, your emotion goes down. That is because of amygdala being inhibited. Okay. Suppose if I crack jokes, take a class in a very interesting session, you get sensitized and you listen more. Okay. There is again there is sensitization. All this is an example of non-associative learning. And here amygdala, as I told you, it is concerned with the emotion. So it is also concerned with aversive conditioning. What is it? Aversive conditioning? Fear of getting punished. Fear of getting punished. Okay, right. Next thing is striatum. What is this striatum? You know, all side of the basal ganglia, right? Basal ganglia. You hear striatum there? Caudate nucleus with the, it connects the caudate nucleus with the putamen. Very good. This part, this C-shaped part. Okay, right. Now you have two parts there in striatum. Striatum is important for operant conditioning. Operant condition was, who did that? Who said this? Who termed this operant conditioning? Skinner. Good. Okay. So there are two parts here, dorsal striatum and ventral striatum. Dorsal striatum has caudate nucleus and putamen, and ventral striatum has nucleus ambiguans. We all know basal ganglia is important. It has important motor function, but it also has a important role in memory. How does it do? Now I was speaking about rewards. Okay. Whenever I see about rewards, it is this thing which is happening. The ventral striatum, particularly the nucleus ambiguans, is concerned with reward. It is concerned with reward. Okay. So nucleus ambiguans is concerned with reward. Very good. Right. Now emotion and cognitive behavior. Again, the striatum plays a very crucial role in emotional processing, decision making and executive function. And lastly, social behavior. Whatever information is entering inside, that is coded into social activity as well as regard. Say for example, what is the social activity? May I know your name? Yeah, Sridhar was almost dozing off. Please sit down. Thank you. Thanks for standing. Sit down. He was almost dozing off, but when I came near him, what he did? He did not continue to sleep. He was waking up. He was waking up. Why did you wake up? Why did you stand now? Okay, that is because someone has taught him that when an elder is coming near him, they have to stand. So all these things are social actions and rewarding. Okay, again, you have your striatum which is concerned with these areas. Right. Next we have the cerebellum. Cerebellum is important for maintaining balance, posture, tone, equilibrium, all these things. And it is also concerned with classical conditioning. For procedural learning, you all do your hematological procedures very well, right? Okay, right. So that is all. Whatever procedure, whatever skill you learn, it is again concerned with cerebellum. Now let's take this quiz again. Now I want everyone to answer. The subject learns the property of a single stimuli. This is called? Hey, no, don't answer, please raise your hand. Good. So there is one hand, one open fist coming up. So the answer is habituation. Correct. Good. Next one. In which type of learning there is increased release of neurotransmitter serotonin from the axonal thing? The answer, please. Very good. The answer is B. B sensitization. Very good. conditioned reflex can be inhibited. Excellent, good, it is true. What are the two types of inhibition? Yes, good. Which of the following is not a prerequisite of classical conditioning? Don't worry about what your neighbor is doing. No marks are given, no negative marks, so you can raise your hands just like that. Because if I see a wrong answer, I can explain to you. That's why. Right. So I see most of you raising two open hands. So you all say the answer is unconditioned stimuli must precede the conditioned stimuli. What is the correct answer here? Conditioned stimuli. Conditioned stimuli must precede the unconditioned stimuli. Okay? Conditioned stimuli. Ring a bell, bring a food. Or the duration should be almost 0.5 seconds, almost equal. So conditioned stimuli must precede the unconditioned stimuli. Good. Okay. Areas which are concerned with non-associative learning and aversive conditioning. You answered it much earlier itself. Okay. All of you say C. Most of you are saying C. Many of you are not answering. Can I see one hand raising from each person? One or two hand based on the answer? I want everyone to answer. Can I get the answer from you? Yeah, that person. You. No, behind you. Yeah. Please stand. Doesn't matter. What is your answer? C? Why do you say C? Because he said so. Something is there, no? Aversive conditioning, aversion, emotion. Emotion is concerned with amygdala. Sit down. Yeah. Answer is correct. It is amygdala. Right. Area concerned with reward processing. Reward processing. Reward processing. Good. It is nucleus accumbens. Right. Okay. Right. Next we'll go for the third part of the lecture. It is memory. Okay, where you acquire a knowledge, acquire something, store it, and then retrieve it when and where needed. Let me ask you this. This is pre-test. Don't worry about your answer. Memory of fact. It was taught in today's class? No? Yet to be taught. Okay. Memory of fact is called. Some answer. Many of you are saying B, episodic memory. We'll see. Right. I'm going then all these things are sensitizing you to the terms. I'm going to say something about something in the name of semantic memory, something called episodic memory, something procedural primary, all these things. Right. Okay. Non-declarative memory is reflexive, unconscious, not involving the hippocampal processing. True or false? False. True. Can anything happen without the information of the brain, from the brain? Okay, we'll see it. Structural changes in long-term memory does not include upregulation of AMPA, downregulation of NMDA receptors, increase in the number of presynaptic terminal, changes in the dendritic spine. Any answer? Okay. Correct order of memory storage. Try to give a guess here, all of you. Storage, encoding, consolidation, retrieval, consolidation, storage, encoding, retrieval, retrieval, encoding, storage, consolidation, encoding, consolidation, storage, and retrieval. Okay, I see different answers. Good. Okay. Lesion of temporal lobe will lead to antegrade amnesia. So we are going to speak about amnesia here. Okay, right. Amyloid plaque deposits is one of the hallmark of which disease? Kulvab, you see? Alzheimer's, I see answers coming up for both A and B. Okay, fine, good. We'll go for this topic. Who is he? Have you seen him? Then how do you say that he is Mahatma Gandhi? Have you seen him? Then? Okay, someone told you so, right? Yeah, boys. Really? Out? Why it is out? Why it is out? Yeah. Slip la catch pudstara. Fine, okay, good. But then was the bowler overstepping? No, it's not seen, right? Okay, right. It's not out now. Now he says it is not out. Okay, sit down. Can you all say this? Can you all list the events right from getting up from your bed till stepping into the classroom? What happens? Yeah, now she has started. I did this, I did this, I did this. You can all do it, right? Fine, okay. Rock Beach, Gandhi statue. Imagine being there. What is your imagination? You were alone? Certainly not. He says, no, 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 sir. And he says ice cream. What else? Imagine being there. Right, okay. Never expected this height. Okay. Good breeze is coming, very good. What color dress are you wearing? You're wearing anything? Yeah? What is the color of the dress you have imagined? What dress first? Good. Asta sir, polo t-shirt dhan podvana. Yeah, polo t-shirt. Yeah, then he has come up with a brand. He has not come up with a color till now. Yes. Black. Okay, black polo t-shirt, round neck, collar, V-cut. V-cut, okay. Okay, fine. Tucked in. Grey chinos, fine. Loafers, good. All sand will enter inside. Holding something in your hand? Somebody or something? I was meaning to ice cream. Bad minds here. Yeah. So it what is actually happening? Please sit down. Thank you. So there are many things which are coming into your mind, right? Many things are flashing into it. We'll see why all this thing, why it is happening. Okay. So here actually there is a factual knowledge of people, places, things and events which are happening, and this is what we call it as declarative memory. Here your observation, boys. The first picture and the second picture. First one. What is happening? Yeah, the girl is trying to drive. She is learning to drive. So this is first time driving. What is happening in the second picture? Fatafat, just like that, she drives. She is expert now. This is expert driving. Madam is there, still I cannot, since Madam is my teacher, I cannot say many things. And Madam drives a car. She is good in driving. She is like the second driver. But there is a third category. Yeah, there is a third category. Yeah, right. We don't know what type of driving is that. Right. Okay. So this type of procedural skill involved is called reflexive or non-declarative memory. It is information about how to perform something. Okay. Now how is memory classified? How is learning classified? Non-associative and associative. Under non-associative we have habituation, sensitization. Under associative learning we have classical conditioning or Pavlovian conditioning, and next one is Operant conditioning. Very good. Fine. That much is enough. Okay, coming to memory. How is memory classified? Memory is classified based on the information stored and recalled. And the second type of classification is depending on the permanency of the storage of memory. Depending on the information stored, we can classify them into declarative or explicit memory. Declarative memory or explicit memory. Both are same. And the next one is non-declarative memory or implicit memory or procedural skill. Okay, procedural or skill memory. And this non-declarative memory is again divided into two types. One is procedural memory and next one is priming memory. Two types. Depending on the permanency of storage of memory, we can classify them into short term, intermediate and long term. Okay, right. We'll see about each and everything in detail. First is declarative. You are declaring something. Okay, you are declaring something. You are saying something. Right. And you have two types of memory in it. One is two subtypes. One is semantic memory and next one is episodic memory. When I say episodes, what does it mean? It's a big story, which is, so there are many information stored, bits and pieces in your brain. All these things are connected, interlinked, taken to your left brain. Everything is processed and it is given up in a logical sense. It is all coming up in a logical sense. Yes or no? Yes, it is happening. Okay, right. So that is episodic memory. We'll go for semantic memory or memory of facts. When I ask you who it is, you all said Mahatma Gandhi, right? Why? What is his actual name? Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi or Mahatma Gandhi. Good, right. Okay, so this is more like memory of surrounding. When I speak about declarative memory or explicit memory, it is more like memory of surrounding. Where are you sitting? Where is the physiology lab located? You will say go this way, turn this side, you will reach it. Right. So memory of surrounding, memory of time relationship, memory of cause of experience. That is how you can say whether you know how to play, and then you can now find whether the person is out or not out. Okay. It is memory of cause of experience, memory of meaning of an experience, why it is happening. Right. And lastly, memory of one's deduction that is left in the person's mind. Now coming to semantic memory, yeah, as I told you, imagine sitting in Rock Beach. You all will be saying everything. So it is memory of knowledge, memory of facts, memory of concepts as well as words and their meaning. From here he will sit and he will say, sir, I saw. Do you feel actually something? When you imagine, do you feel like I can hear the sound of the waves? Or some small child playing there. Can come. Or some girls playing. Anything. Right. So it is all there. Everything comes, everything strikes in your mind. Okay. When I say apple, many will imagine red, many will imagine green apple. Some will also feel the taste of apple there. When I say biryani, yeah, you are now she's like, huh? Yeah, fine. So it all starts. It's all memory. All these things are semantic memory. Now, this semantic memory is stored and distributed in different areas in the cortex. You have visual memory, we have auditory memory, that is what I said. You can imagine things, you can hear to some sounds, those memory will come inside. And there is somatosensory memory, right? Imagine being yourself worshipping Lord Venkateshwara and Tirupati. Can you ever imagine going alone standing there? There is always this rush, right? So again, so you will have somatosensory memory. All these things will remind us about different attributes which are stored in different area of the neocortex. Neocortex is your cerebellum. Okay. So we have visual memory, we have auditory memory, and we have somatosensory memory. All these things interlink to each other. Now coming to the applied aspect, now there is this condition called agnosia. Please remember, agnosia. There are different types of agnosia. I will be speaking about only two. Now here, agnosia is a neurological condition where the individuals will struggle to identify very familiar objects or peoples or sound despite having an intact perception. See, their vision will be good, their auditory sensation will be good, but still they may not be able to hear properly, see properly, or identify, they will not be able to identify things just by seeing. Now we have two types, one is visual agnosia and next one is auditory agnosia, somatosensory agnosia, it goes on. In visual agnosia, we have two types. One is associative visual agnosia, and next one is appreciative agnosia, visual agnosia. We'll just play a video here, then I will come to you. I will explain to you what is associated agnosia. And the video play pannunga. Inga irukka?
The overall definition of associative agnosia is that the person is unable to construct a mental percept, which basically means that he or she can combine the perceived features into a whole pattern, but cannot associate the pattern with meaning or with previously stored knowledge about the object's identity. Oftentimes, associative agnosia results from some kind of head trauma, usually involving damage to the corpus callosum. Here is an example of an image a patient with this disorder might be asked to draw. As you can see, although the patient is struggling with the replication of the image and takes longer than normal, he is still able to copy the images from the sheet of paper. Here is an example of what this replication might look like. When asked to recall the object's name, the patient is unable to name it, which represents the inability to assign a correct meaning to visual stimuli. When the patient is able to touch and hold the object in his hands, he is actually able to name the object. This shows how associative agnosia relates to the disruption of discrete stages of name retrieval. Apperceptive agnosia is an impaired object recognition.
Okay, so what is associated agnosia here? The person can draw an image just like that replicating, but when questioned what it is, what he is drawn, he will not be able to answer properly. Or show him an image and then ask him to say what it is, the person will not be able to identify the object even. But then give the object to him, he or she may feel it, touch it, feel it, then the person will say, yes, this is an object used for writing. Or give them a spectacle, they will take it, they will examine it, then they will put it to their eyes, they will say, yes, this is an object used for seeing things clearly. You got it? So that is called associative agnosia. They are associating the characteristics of a object and then they are identifying the object. Am I clear? The next one is appreciative agnosia.
Visual processing deficits. Here's an example of a picture they would be asked to copy. When asked to copy the picture, they show extreme difficulty in making a recognizable picture. This is usually a result of right hemisphere and parietal lobe damage. As you can see, they are unable to copy the image. The patient is able to identify objects by sight and touch, so they are able to recognize and verbalize the object through thought. This is a good contrast to associative agnosia because the patient's ability to verbally recognize objects is fully functioning. As you can remember, associative agnosia.
Okay. So what is appreciative visual agnosia here? When asked to draw image, they may not be able to draw it properly, but then just like that, by seeing they can appreciate it. They can appreciate and they say what it is, okay, what the image is. So this can happen when the person is having occipital lobe lesion or area surrounding. But then when you go for, please remember, associative visual agnosia will happen when there is posterior parietal cortex lesion. When there is a lesion in the posterior parietal cortex. Where is the posterior parietal cortex? Where is the parietal lobe? Now I am sensitizing him. He has got habituated to my talk. I have to sensitize him. Any idea where the parietal lobe is? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah. Where is the parietal lobe? Where is the brain? Back in your home? Where is the brain located? In your body, where is the brain located? In the cranial cavity. Where is the cranial cavity? In the head. Very good. It has lobes. Very good. What are the lobes? Excellent. Very good. Frontal. Where is the frontal lobe? Please, can you touch it and show me? Good. Very good. Frontal lobe, parietal, occipital. Excellent. So parietal lobe is there, right? So whenever there is a lesion in your parietal lobe, whenever there is a lesion in the posterior parietal cortex, then what can happen? It will lead to associative visual agnosia. You will not be able to associate you will only be able to associate things, and then you will be able to say an object. Am I clear? If there is a lesion in the occipital lobe is concerned with vision, for seeing, then the person will have appreciative visual agnosia. Just by seeing they will be able to say an object, but when asked to draw they will not be able to draw it. Okay, right. That is all about visual agnosia. Now episodic memory. Now we have seen about semantic memory. Next we are going for episode. Please sit down. Episodic memory. Episodic memory is like when I ask you to say what all you did right from morning, or what you did last Sunday, or what you did in your school days. The first slide I was projecting what are my memories in AVMC, right? All those things I were able to say. All these things are episodic memory. That is called episodic memory, where all the informations are stored in the prefrontal cortex. So suppose if I hit him very hard with a solid iron, please stand. Let me check whether you are very tall. He is not tall. Thank you. Right. He was surprisingly tall. Right. So suppose I hit him here. What is this area? Prefrontal cortex. If there is a lesion here, then what may happen? He may not be able to say what he was doing last summer. Right. So his episodic memory will be lost. Right. So prefrontal areas work with other areas in the neocortex, the cerebellum, and it allows and it works in recollection of memory when and where needed. So a person with frontal lobe lesion will have amnesia. Okay, we'll speak about what are the different types of amnesia a little later. Okay. Now next thing, all this time we were speaking about declarative memory. In declarative memory, I told you we have semantic memory and episodic memory, right? Memory of fact is called semantic memory. Memory of whatever has happened to you earlier is called episodic memory. Very good. Now we are going for non-declarative memory. When I say non-declarative, it is you are not declaring anything, but then you are doing it. It's procedure. Okay, right. Say for example, I throw this to him. He catches. Just like that he catches. He did that. Okay. What is this? Non-declarative memory. We'll see what is happening. Imagine a person hitting a tennis ball. What are the things which you see here? First he sees the ball, right? Then he calculates, his mind calculates the relationship and speed of the ball to the racket. Then there is some bodily change so that he can hit the ball outside. And then when the next ball comes, he moves to the next stroke. He forgets what he did. First he forgets and then he moves. Do you still remember? Is it there in the brain continuously that you are that you have caught this bottle? No, you just forget. For a moment you just forget and then you go for the next work. Yeah. So that is what we call it as non-declarative memory or implicit memory. Right. So this non-declarative memory is mostly reflexive. I threw the bottle, he caught it. Imagine the information going to the brain, getting processed, then it is coming down. By the time the information reaches his hand, what will happen? The bottle would have hit him. Okay. So here what is happening? It is mostly reflexive. It is unconscious, just like that he caught the bottle. It is not involving hippocampal processing. Now there are two types of non-declarative. One is called procedural memory and the next one is priming memory. procedure is for skill and habit. Just like that they do it. I threw it, he caught it. Like Dhoni stamping out. See the batsman's face there. Hey, I'm still standing inside, man. How can he even be this caught? Right. So this is procedure. It comes for skill and habit. Priming memory is for recognition of words and objects. Like as you solve your Sudoku or have you seen this? What is this? Yeah, Steve Jobs. Okay, right. Now coming for the second classification of memory based how it is stored. Short-term memory, it's also called working memory. Like whatever you will be able to remember, whatever has happened, just like that. That is immediate recall of events that happened seconds or hours ago and it just lasts for a few seconds or hours. That's it. You have a test, you read, go, you will just vomit it there, come back. But then ask the question 2 days later, you will say, I don't know. Because there is no consolidation of memory will not happen. It will not get stored. Okay. Next we have intermediate long-term memory. Overnight you will read. Just before the examination, overnight you will read. Not dream like him. What will happen? You will read overnight during the examination. Just before the examination, you will score marks. He or she will pass. Passing is not the problem here. The biggest problem here is saying to the other students, Macha, just one day I read, I passed. Imagine me reading a whole year, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. So that is called intermediate long-term memory. This is there will be a temporary chemical and physical changes will happen in the brain. And whatever memory you have gained will not get consolidated. So it will eventually be lost. It will eventually be lost. Last minute preparation will not help. Okay, last thing. Yeah, this is some temporary chemical changes. One is habituation, next one is sensation. Same thing. How your calcium is getting facilitated, next one is how your calcium level is increased. Right. Long-term memory. Okay. Now this is just like that. You start reading. Say for example, I asked you this question. What is a square plus b square? Tap, fatafat, you told the answer. If you are a music lover, just like that you hear a song. No one wants to teach you. You do not want to read it from the book. Just like that you will be learning. Just like that you will be singing it without any mistake. It is only difficult to read books. I understand books are not that interesting. Why is this happening? Please, we'll listen to this.
Begin sensory signals being transcribed in the cortex. They are then transmitted to the hippocampus where new memories are believed to form. If a signal is strong or repeated, a long-term memory is established and wired back to the cortex for storage. Lesions in the hippocampus impair formation of new memories, but do not affect the older ones. The brain consists of billions of neurons. Neurons communicate with each other through a space between them called a synapse. A typical neuron can have thousands of synapses or connections with other neurons. Together they form extremely complex networks that are responsible for all brain's functions. Synaptic connections can change over time, a phenomenon known as synaptic plasticity. Synaptic plasticity follows the use it or lose it rule. Frequently used synapses are strengthened, while rarely used connections are eliminated. Synaptic plasticity is believed to underlie the process of learning and memory retention. New memories are formed when neurons establish new connections or strengthen existing synapses. If a memory is no longer needed or rarely recalled, its corresponding synapses will slowly weaken and eventually disappear. The strength of a synapse is measured by the level of excitability or responsiveness of the postsynaptic neuron in response to a given stimulus from the presynaptic neuron. High-frequency signals or repeated stimulations strengthen synaptic connections over time. This is known as long-term potentiation, or LTP, and is thought to be the cellular basis of memory formation. LTP can occur at most excitatory synapses all over the brain, but is best studied at the glutamate synapse of the hippocampus. When a glutamatergic neuron is stimulated, action potentials travel down its axon and trigger the release of glutamate into the synaptic cleft. Glutamate then binds to its receptors on the postsynaptic neuron. The two main glutamate receptors that often coexist in a synapse are AMPA and NMDA receptors. These are ion channels that activate upon binding to glutamate. When the presynaptic neuron is stimulated by a weak signal, only a small amount of glutamate is released. Although both receptors are bound by the glutamate, only AMPA is activated by weak stimulation. Sodium influx through the AMPA channel results in a slight depolarization of the postsynaptic membrane. The NMDA channel remains closed because its pore is blocked by magnesium ions. When the presynaptic neuron is stimulated by a strong or repeating signal, a large amount of glutamate is released. The AMPA receptor stays open for a longer time, admitting more sodium into the cell, thus resulting in a greater depolarization. Increased influx of positive ions expels magnesium from the NMDA channel, which now activates, allowing not only sodium but also calcium into the cell. Calcium is the mediator of LTP induction. There are two distinct phases of LTP. In the early phase, calcium initiates signaling pathways that activate several protein kinases. These kinases enhance synaptic communication in two ways. They phosphorylate the existing AMPA receptors, thereby increasing AMPA conductance to sodium, and help to bring more AMPA receptors from intracellular stores to the postsynaptic membrane. This phase is thought to be the basis of short-term memory, which lasts for several hours. In the late phase, new proteins are made and gene expression is activated to further enhance the connection between the two neurons. These include newly synthesized AMPA receptors and expression of other proteins that are involved in the growth of new dendritic spines and synaptic connections. The late phase may correlate with formation of long-term memory.
Okay, so what was told here? Can anyone explain? Can you give it a try? Give it a try. What was told? Something was told there. You hear something being spoken. What is that? Please hold on. Give it a try. Doesn't matter whether it's even if it's wrong. Hold it close.
Transmission of
Okay, fine. Okay. Thank you. Right. So what is? Yeah. Am I audible? Yeah. What did they say there? Fine. You have many areas in the brain. Many neurons are there. One neurons will communicate to the other neuron by a synapse, right? And what did they say? Information is coming from different part of your brain, neocortex, to the first area to receive the information is correct. You are correct. Good. You are correct. You told the answer. To the hippocampus. Very good. Please sit down. It comes to the hippocampus and then consolidation happens, right? In the hippocampus, what type of neurons are they showing here? Is it acetylcholine receptor? Is it cholinergic neurons or it is glutaminergic neurons? So here they have studied about glutaminergic neurons. So the more you study, the more repeatedly you study, what happens? More stimuli will be there, more glutamins will be released. Right? When the glutamins are released, what will happen? They will go and act on two type of receptors in the postsynaptic terminal. What are the two types of receptor here? We have the AMPA receptors and NMDA receptors. AMPA receptors, when glutamin goes and act on AMPA receptors, what will they do? They will open up the channel, allowing the sodium ions to enter inside. Sodium influx will cause depolarization. It will cause depolarization. Will it produce an action potential on a postsynaptic neuron or will it produce EPSP? Will it produce excitatory postsynaptic potential, or we'll say it like this? Will it produce a graded potential, or will it produce an action potential? It will produce graded potential. Please remember, always it will be a graded potential. These graded potential will summit and they will form a action potential, right? So slowly the depolarization is going up, is happening in the postsynaptic terminal. Later what happens? More amount of sodium is entering inside. That will lead to depolarization is already there. It pushes the magnesium, blocking the NMDA receptors out. Magnesium is blocked by magnesium. Sorry, NMDA receptors are blocked by magnesium ion. So this magnesium has to be pushed out. Because of the depolarizing current, this magnesium will try to move out. When it is moved out, now what will happen? Along with sodium, please remember, along with sodium, calcium ions will also enter inside. So more amount of calcium is entering inside. Calcium is a second messenger. Calcium is a second messenger. Now this will send signal deep into the cell to the nuclei to produce more amount of new proteins, which will lead to production of more AMPA receptors, which will be upregulated and incorporated into the postsynaptic membrane, so that very little amount of neurotransmitter glutamine can effectively be catched up. Now this is what will happen if you are repeatedly studying. If you are repeatedly studying, more and more amount of AMPA receptors will be produced, right? It will be incorporated in your postsynaptic membrane. You read, you will understand. If you are not a reader, then what happens? These AMPA receptors will be temporarily incorporated. You saw it. There are two types of incorporation of AMPA receptors. One just like that, immediately when the NMDA receptors were found. Next one, production of new AMPA receptors. Production of new NMDA receptors. You got it? So that production of new receptors happens in long-term memory. Short-term memory will just like that, it will upregulate it and it will store there. Am I clear? That is why I say the day before examination, because of repeated stimuli, there will be production of AMPA, there will be release of glutamine, there will be production of AMPA, but it is not a permanent thing. So not only that, when you do it very regularly, the size of the postsynaptic terminal, see, more and more neurotransmitters are getting incorporated. So what will happen to the size of the postsynaptic terminal? It will increase. It will increase. And which part of the neuron will collect the signal? Is concerned with connecting the signal? Dendrites. So there will be more formation of dendritic spines or pores. The number of dendritic spines will increase to increase the surface area. There will be new connections. There will be new nerve connections. That is, that depends from one person to another person. He may like music, he may hate music, he may like eating, he may hate eating. Why is that? For him, the pathway which is concerned with music will be amplified. There can be new connections which will be established. Am I clear? For him it may not be so. So for him there is potentiation. There is a change in structure. Long-term potentiation, you will have to write about AMPA and NMDA receptors. Synaptic plasticity, you have to write about the changes which are structural changes which are happening there. What are the structural changes? Yeah, dendritic spine. First thing is the size of the postsynaptic terminal will increase. Formation of dendritic spine. Formation of new connections. What are the chemical changes which will happen? Upregulation of AMPA receptors. Upregulation of NMDA receptors. Both are getting upregulated. More expression is there. Am I clear? So this is what will happen in in memory. Right. Next, how is this memory getting stored? When it is going to the hippocampus. Now there is another circuit which will come. First thing, the informations will be encoded. First thing will be encoded. Whatever information is going, it will go to the it is like the nature, the extent of this encoding is critically important for determining how well you can learn a material. Okay. Next thing is consolidation. What is consolidation? Here, it's a process that alter the newly stored and still label information so that it makes more, so that the information becomes much and much stronger and it can be retrieved effectively. Next thing is storage. It refers to the mechanism as well as the site where the informations will be stored over time. Next thing is retrieval. Whenever needed, it will be taken back. So what is this order? Correct order. Whatever information goes to your brain, it will first get encoded, then it will get consolidated, it is getting strengthened, then it is getting stored, and lastly, suppose if you are reading only one day earlier, what will happen? Where will be the process stopping? There will be encoding for sure. Consolidation will not be proper. Consolidation will not be proper. If there is a lesion in the brain concerned with memory, then retrieval will not be possible. Retrieval of memory will not be possible. Right. Fine. Now, what are the areas then which are involved in this thing? First thing is prefrontal cortex. It projects from different areas. Yeah, we'll see this. Okay. We have for semantic memory, we have the lateral as well as anterior temporal cortex. For episodic memory, hippocampus, medial temporal lobe and neocortex are important. For non-declarative memory, that is for procedural skills and habit, you need striatum, cerebellum and motor cortex to function properly. For priming and perceptual memory, we need to have the neocortex. For associated learning, we need amygdala and cerebellum. And lastly, non-associated like habituation and sensation, you need many areas, especially the impulse coming from sensory pathways and motor pathways. Right. Now comes the importance of Pappe's circuit. Pappe's circuit. You can remember hi-fi and match. Hi-fi match. H-I-F, I-V-E very soonly, then match. Right. What is this? H stands for hippocampus. HI stands for hippocampus. F stands for fornix. M stands for mammillary body. A for anterior thalamic nuclei. C for cingulum or cingulate gyrus, and lastly H for return to hippocampus via entorhinal cortex. See what is happening. The information first reaches the hippocampus. Please come. From there, it travels to the fornix. From the fornix to the mammillary area. From there to anterior thalamic nucleus. Then to cingulate gyrus. To the enterohepatic cortex, to the hippocampus again. So this is how information is repeatedly happening. Now let me ask you this question. I told you what is the first step for memory storage? Encoding. Where does encoding happen here? Think and answer. Hippocampus. Hippocampus. Where does consolidation happens here? In the cingulate gyrus, dentate gyrus, etc. Am I clear? Okay. Yeah. Now we'll go for the applied aspect. Suppose if there is the two lobes are disconnected. The two temporal lobes, if they are disconnected, and that will lead to Kulva-Bucy syndrome. Kulva-Bucy syndrome. Here you can see there will be damage to fear reaction, damage to amygdala as well as hippocampus. These peoples they will exhibit hyper-orality. Very terrifying to see all these peoples. See how this person is. They have a tendency or compulsion to place anything or any object to their mouth. Anything. They will just lick. Hypersexuality. They will be bisexuals. There will be inappropriate sexual behavior. STDs will be quite common. Next thing, there will be hyperphagia, and here the hyperphagia is little different. We call this type of hyperphagia here as bulimia. Why is that? They will suddenly start to eat like something. Then at one fine day they will say, no, I have put more weight, I will stop. And they will go for extreme fasting. So hyperphagia followed by fasting will be there. Visual agnosia, I told you they will not be able to identify an object just by vision. They can appreciate it by clues. And there is hypermetaphoresis. Hypermetaphoresis is like they see a rope and they will imagine that it is a snake. This is called hypermetroposis, excessive attention to visual stimuli. They are so cautious. They will be always looking for some danger sign or the other. Placidity, they will have a flat affect, no facial, no reaction, very flat reactions in their face. Amnesia. Slowly they will also have loss of memory. So this is these are the features which will happen in Kuller-Bucy syndrome. Happens because of bitemporal lobectomy, when two lobes are disconnected. Okay. Which are the nucleus which are affected mainly here? Amygdala and hippocampus. Right. Now this PAPU circuit has a strong connection with many, or it has many physiological significance. When you are going to measure EEG, what is EEG? Electroencephalogram. When the electrodes are placed in the PAPU circuit, you will see predominantly theta waves. Theta waves happens usually in emotional stress. No. Theta waves. Alpha, beta, theta, theta. Downs, drowsiness. No. Drowsiness is fine. But then when you are in deep stress, you are all stressed now. I know. I am stressing you a lot. I know. When you are in deep sleep, okay, theta wave, right? Sleeping is good for memory or not good for memory? Good for memory. Your PAPU circuit will function very nicely. Okay, that is why they say always sleep and come for exam, but don't sleep too much or don't sleep in the examination time, right? So theta waves will be very strongly present there, right? If there is any lesion in the anterior nucleus or ventral lateral nucleus, because impulses from mammary bodies will project to these areas, then there will be impairment of language as well as memory. If there is involvement of fornix, if there is a lesion in the fornix, that can lead to amnesia. Changes in this PAPU circuit has been extensively studied in all neurodegenerative diseases, be it Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, etc., etc. Right. Now, what is this? Deja vu. Yeah. What is this deja vu actually? Yeah, it came in this movie, but then do you really think that you will be put in a situation or there is something called time loop? Nothing so. But then I told you your right brain and left brain function, I told you, right? What does your right brain do? Takes all the clues. It is important for parallel processing of memory. But your left will always try to take one memory at a time. It's linear processing of information. Here there is parallel processing of information. Just like that, say for example, when I am walking into your college, suddenly I find there is this thing. I find a tree there, or I find a smell which I have smelled 25 years back, which is stored in my brain, or I see something which I have remembered which has affected me 25 years back, and then I feel I have been to this place some time back. I will feel that. Likewise, I go to some place, say for example you are entering into this hall. Suddenly there will be some clues, all these clues will be ignited by your right brain, and then it says, hey, your left brain says, yeah, I remember these things. I remember this particular thing placed here, this AC being switched on, this particular light flickering. So I have been in this situation. Your brain picks up these clues and gives an information that you have been in this situation little earlier, before. And that is what we call it as deja vu phenomena. Actually, nothing will happen again and again. So, like as it comes in Vadiveli joke, okay. Amnesia. There are two types of amnesia. One is antegrade amnesia, and next one is retrograde amnesia. Now it is very simple. Where is the information? Where is the memory first getting encoded? Hippocampus. If there is lesion in the hippocampus, what will happen? You will not be able to process any new memory, and that is what we call it as antegrade amnesia. antegrade amnesia. Okay, right. Next thing is retrograde amnesia. Temporal lobes are important for consolidation of memory. Consolidation. So if there is lesion in temporal lobe, what will happen? It will be leading to retrograde amnesia. But please remember, suppose if somebody should not happen, but if it would have happened. Say for example, if you would have gone for a transient loss of consciousness, standing in a hot sun for some time, just like that you fall, suddenly you get up, and then what will you say? What is my name? What will you ask? Why am I here? What has happened? Has it happened or not? So it is usually the recent memory which will be lost, not the consolidation of memory which is stored in temporal lobe. Am I clear? Okay, it is usually the recent memory which will be lost, right? Similar thing will happen when you are retrieving from anesthesia. Okay, last one, Alzheimer's disease. Commonest cause of dementia, loss of memory in elderly adults. It's a new neurodegenerative disorder which will usually affect the cholinergic neurons. We don't know why it is happening. Cholinergic neurons are present in many areas in the Pappi circuit. It is these neurons which will be affected. Now two plaques will be formed here. Both are proteins which are normally present in our body. One is amyloid plaque and next one is tau protein, TAU protein. Okay, this TAU protein will form tangles and it will form tangles and it will be present intracellularly. It will be present intracellularly, whereas the amyloid plaques will be present outside the cell. These plaques will cause damage to the neurons slowly, resulting in shrinkage of neurons. It's a progressive change, inevitable once initiated. Usually it is the hippocampus which will be affected. Slowly the neurons in amygdala will be affected, and later the other parts will also be affected. So initially there is there are some beautiful, this 150 dates, 100 new dates. I forgot that movie. What is it? 50 first dates. Beautifully it will be explaining about amnesia. Or there are many movies which has explained about this amnesia. Usually first they will lose processing of new information because hippocampus is affected. Hippocampus is affected. Later their emotions are lost because amygdala is affected. They go into a very vegetative state. They don't know like what is happening. Even if a person dies in front of them, they really don't feel that emotion. They don't feel happy, they don't feel sad. There is a flat air. Later, as the disease progresses, there will be damage to the neurons in the temporal lobe, and they lose the old memories which are stored. Okay, so that is what will happen in Alzheimer's disease. So first symptom is loss of recent memory, impairment of other areas of cognition such as language. They will not be able to answer to you properly. Problem solving, judgmental will be, calculations may not be happen, attention will not be proper. There will be some psychiatric behavior as the disease progresses, and lesions can happen because of involvement of pyramidal tract and extrapyramidal tract. Finally the person will go for a vegetative state. Treatment, as of now there is no effective treatment. If you want to produce more amount of acetylcholine, what's the treatment of choice for myasthenia gravis? Myasthenia gravis. What will happen to acetylcholine? Once when it is acted upon on the prosynaptic terminal, it has to be broken down. By which enzyme? Acetylcholine esterase. So can you reversibly, if you can block the acetylcholine esterase enzyme, you can give more time for the acetylcholine to act on its receptor. Yes or no? So what is that drug called? Physostigmine neostigmine. These drugs can be given, but for the initial stage, later you cannot have it. But then research have proved that coconut oil is good for preventing Alzheimer's disease. Coconuts and coconut oil. So eat lot of coconuts. Lastly, there are few chemicals and drugs which can stimulate the CNS. Most of us, we feel so fresh when we are taking coffee. Caffeine will increase the intracytoplasmic cyclic AMP level, increases cellular activity. Nicotine acts by nicotinic receptors. It can enhance the brain memory. Drugs like amphetamine, physostigmine, phenylenedione, etc. All these things are CNS stimulant. They are all CNS stimulant given for drugs treatment. How do they do it? Again by inhibiting acetylcholine esterase enzyme. Okay. Let's go for the quiz again. Last quiz. I'll be happy if I can get more. I know, yeah. I thought you were asking doubts for me. Right, okay. So this is memory of factors. Semantic memory. Good, okay. Associated visual agnosia. See, associated, not perspective. Appreciative. If you have to appreciate something, there should be, what should be better? What should be better? Occipital cortex should be better. Now here it is associative. So it is posterior parietal cortex. Very good. Memory of events and personal experience is called. Good, very good. Yeah, now they are all, yes sir, episodic memory. Good. Episodic memory. Right. Non-declarative memory is reflexive. Is reflexive. True or false? You want me to demonstrate again? See, I will demonstrate. Failed. It failed, but we'll do it again one more time. This time to his face. Yeah. So it is reflexive. It is unconscious, and it does not involve hippocampus. So the answer is very good. True. Structural changes, physical changes in long-term memory does not include. Excellent, excellent. Down regulation of NMDA. So both AMPA and NMDA receptors are upregulated. Very good. Okay. Correct order. The answer by your gesture. Sir, everybody is like, now it's like, or it's like, yeah. Fine, it is encoding, consolidation, storage and retrieval. Very good. Lesion of temporal lobe leads to antegrade amnesia. Lesion, answer. Nam Tamilar. Right, okay. False. Lesion of temporal lobe will lead to retrograde amnesia. Why? Temporal lobe is concerned with consolidation of memory. Okay, very good. Right. Amyloid plaque deposits is one of the hallmark of. The answer. Good. The answers. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth bench. Yes, very good. It is Alzheimer's disease. Culver-Bucy is due to bitemporal lobectomy. Right, very good. Yeah, so probably one reason why I was called for this talk is these are few of our publications which we did on learning and memory. First thing was I do a lot of animal research. So we had to induce pre-diabetes in an animal, give a plant extract and check whether there was any behavioral changes during those time. I was looking into the histopathological changes happening at the hippocampus, especially CAG nuclei and dentate nucleus. We check for the edematous changes, etc., etc. There are some markers we will be checking. So that was the first study. Second one was based on an ICMR approved project by my student, where we studied about the information processing capacity, cortical response. I told you from neocortex impulse has to go to hippocampus, from hippocampus to papier circuit for consolidation of memory, etc., etc. So we studied the effect of habitual breakfast skippers. You know, breakfast is very, very important because you are breaking the fast after minimum 12 hours. minimum 12 hours, right? So it produces micronutrients to the brain, which is important for maintaining the good health of your neurons. So I know there is many people skip your breakfast thinking that you want to become thin, or you run to the college because you don't find time, waking up late, etc., etc., or you don't like your mess food, whatever it is. But don't do that. Eat something. It is very, very important, because we found in our study that yes, it does has a negative impact. Fasting, especially early morning fasting, skipping breakfast, will have a deleterious effect on your cognitive perception, cognitive processing memory. Right. Then we wanted to study, nowadays you are all so much concerned about your cell phones. When some ringtone happens, you immediately peep into your mobile. We are all addicted to it. So we studied for smartphone addiction, checking whether it has any impact on memory. Now we are working on an ICMR project, a student project, where we are studying about the effect of mindless scrolling and short videos, and its impact on executive cognitive function and coping to digital detox. What we were able to find till now is, see, nowadays it is usually your Dr. Prem's photo was also there in the first thing. Dr. Prem is also my classmate. Dr. Prasad is my senior. Welcome, sir. Right. Now, what we found there was slowly, initially it was told a human brain can continuously listen for 7 minutes. Pathetic. Initially it was 45, then it became 30, then it became 15. Now it is 7. Now it is still not 7, it is still 8. Less than the capacity of a goldfish. And one particular thing which is pushing us to that pathetic situation is our short videos, reels. Some days back, all you peoples would have been watching a full movie, 3 hours movie, just like that. We peoples were, we'll go to the theater, look at a 3 hours movie continuously, just like that. It was more exciting. Nowadays, no, it is not exciting. We don't want a 3 hours movie. We want small episodes. And from episodes, now it has become reels. We are now more dependent on our short-term memory rather than consolidation of long-term memory. Probably we may have to study the histopathological changes looking for synaptic plasticity. Only then we may have to prove it, come to a point whether we can prove it. Or we can do study the NMDA receptors, expression of NMDA receptors in the brain. That can be done. So study, repeatedly study. Do not allow your right brain to take over your left brain, because parallel processing of information, as I told you, is done mainly by right brain. Your right brain will say, hey, this is boring, throw it, next, swipe to the next picture. Nothing will get consolidated. No information will get consolidated. Prepare to balance between your left and the right brain. Thank you. If there are any queries, I will be taking up. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for such a wonderful talk. It was wonderful for me. I think the students have become active now in at least raising their hands, with their hands fist open and fist closed. I think we will follow that in further classes. I think, sir. Thank you. Now I request our alumni president, Dr. Ilangadar sir, and our DMS sir, Dr. Prem, and our alumni treasurer Dr. Prasad sir, and also our IQAC coordinator, to deliver a small token of appreciation as a certificate to Dr. Jeneth sir. I also request the Department of Physiology to join for this. Sir, actually, they don't have any gangs. They are useless and hopeless.
No. You are like nucleus tactus solitarius. You can control many things. We were a gang of 13. All boys, pathetic. No girls in our room. But still, we are still in contact. That is the biggest advantage of being in AVMC, unlike other institutes which are really very tough. Life here was actually very, very enjoyable. So same thing for you. Study, but at the same time enjoy your life. Life is not which ends in four walls. It continues. Who knows, at one particular time, I never expected Prem, Ilangadhar sir, Prasad sir, where are you? Alumni, right? Okay. Dr. Javar to come here. We are all like very close, and we are still very close. We still say Macha Mama only. There is nothing like sir and all. Yeah. All the best. Stay happy. Thank you.
Accidentally, I was just going to my cupboard yesterday, just cleaning it up, and I found a old photo, Jeneth, the photo of AVMC, which was taken 25 years back. I brought it today just to show you what is. I don't know. I didn't want to show you your photos. What changes this college has been brought from what we have seen this college. We have seen right from the grassroots level. The only beginnings we used to have only one building, the hospital block and the college block. Okay. Now we see tremendous development in the course. But one thing we want is the level of your level to rise above the bar. Okay. Both in academic and discipline part. Okay. So it's nice to see Jeneth back. The same old grey hair look, salt and pepper look. Okay. And I will say my proud junior. Okay. My proud junior. Always love to hear his speech. Welcome back to AVMC.
Right. One thing I would like to tell you, sir, I would have told you a lot. Create a good rapport with your senior batch as well as your junior batch. One thing you have to follow, right? You don't know. At one point of time, you'll be a junior or a senior. Your faculty will become your colleague. This will be there in this profession. Your faculty will be your colleague at one time, right? And you will go above them at one time. We all have seen all this, right? So they both are my juniors. They will explain you, right, how we had a good rapport with their batch, even with the junior batches too, right? So please have a good rapport with your senior as well as your junior batch. Now it's time to felicitate within the alumni. Okay. May I request Dr. Prem, Deputy Medical Superintendent, to felicitate our guest speaker for today, Dr. Jeneth.
Many of you may not know me. After some 3 years, you will meet me there. Okay, so after see, almost I am so happy to see Dr. Jeneth here first of all, and I sat only for 5 minutes. More of confident speech. I'm so happy with that how he is right now in this position, his credentials, everything. Okay. Till third year like that, I'll just share one incident alone. Till third year, usually in this class representatives only, all the students will be like studious students only, they will take this post. But when we came to final year, our gang of 13, 15 members, we fought why always they should be class representative. We will also become a class representative. And he became the class representative, I became the assistant class representative. We both were the useless class representative of those days. neither in academics nor in any we used to divide the departments. He will take care of some OG and surgery. I'll take care of like that. And almost that 1 year was so funny. I think after many years I'm meeting him and speaking to him. First of all, I lost most of the contacts, and I think AVMC has made us to be together here after again. Thank you so much, Ilangadir sir and Prasad sir, for making this arrangement. Thank you so much.
One thing about your DMS, he was very humble in saying things. We were schoolmates. Most of our classmates, we were schoolmates. We were all from Petit Seminar. I did my 11th and 12th elsewhere. Then we rejoined. So it was like more like a school reunion here. And your DMS, you know what he does? He studies a lot. When everybody has slept, he will go into the bathroom and he will read. He is that much studious. And now he is saying he is like, he did not study well, but he is very, very intelligent. So that is how things were. Same thing I am saying, study, then you enjoy your life. I think Madam will know it. Madam will accept to it. That is how our badge was. It was very, when we did this, I'll finish it. Yeah, this is a very short story. When we did our college, as I told you, the first information I got was, to my mother was, why did you put your son there? We were all coming under Pondicherry University during those days, including JIPMA, and Madam will accept to it. Madam was there during our time. You joined after our batch. 2005. So that was almost like when we went for final year, pre-finals. We were bagging university ranks. And that is how Pondicherrians came to know, like there is this college called Arubadevedu. And our internals were not just like that given. As I told, our physiology HOD will give maximum of 13 marks, if I remember it correctly. Out of 20, the maximum would be 13. Most of it will be scoring 8, 9, 10. So that is how things were during those days. So prove yourself. There is no college which is less, no college which is so high. You can always come up. You can always compete. Never think low of yourself. That will push you down. There are many colleges which has no basic amenity than this institution. And as sir was saying, we know how the college was during our time. DMS's main work is to go switch on the AC. And people who will be outside will come and switch it off. We will put it, they will switch it off. That is how our Annapurni hall was, the next hall was. And see now how good it is, soundproof, mic, LCD, LED. That much is improved, it has improved. They will bring you the best. Slowly they will bring you the best. At one particular time you will feel proud that you are an alumni of AVMC. All the best.
One thing my medicine, just a minute. One thing I think nearly 4 to 5 batches of this batch know this fact. My medicine professor used to say, it's not where you study, it's how you study. That was the motto of us. We used to see one case of thyroid. We used to call to the ward, even in one single case, we used to call all the batches and show their clinical futures. That is how we learned. We don't have much cases when we are studying those days. One mitral stenosis, we used to learn the murmur, mid-diastolic murmur. We never forget. We know what is normal, and then we will be able to know what is abnormal. That is what we're trying to teach you. Okay, so in those days we struggled a lot, but we came up well. But nowadays we got everything. But the thing is, you should push up to that level. Okay, all the very best.
Vote of thanks, sir. Thank you all, sir. Thank you, sir. We'll take attendance, then we'll leave. 3 hours, sir.